Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are exploring ZFS, the cutting-edge file system that revolutionizes how we store, manage, and protect data. Whether you are a system admin or a Linux enthusiast, or just curious about advanced storage solutions, this video has it all, from understanding ZFS benefits to installing it on openSUSE Tumbleweed and using it in real-world scenarios. Let's dive in. ZFS, originally developed by Sun Microsystems, is a combined file system and logical volume manager. Its open source successor, openZFS, offers a suite of advanced features designed for data integrity, scalability, and performance. Let's explore some of its key benefits. Data integrity: ZFS uses end-to-end checksumming to detect and correct silent data corruption. Snapshots and clones: quickly create point-in-time snapshots or writable clones of datasets. Built-in compression: save storage space and boost performance by compressing data on the fly. Scalability: ZFS handles immense datasets effortlessly, supporting petabytes of data. RAID-Z, a robust alternative to traditional RAID, providing resilience against disk failures. With these features, ZFS is ideal for both home users and enterprise environments. Before we move on to installing ZFS on our openSUSE system, I would like to clarify something here, that I am using a virtual machine installed on my main desktop. Okay, and I have openSUSE Tumbleweed, the latest one, and it is seamlessly integrated with my machine. Like, I don't have to press any combined keys to get out from the session and go back again. So I will maximize it because we will continue our work from this machine. If you are going to do the same setup and using a virtual machine, make sure that your memory at least 10 GB or 12 GB, because ZFS file system is a memory consuming. Or if you are going to do this on physical hardware, also again try to make sure that you have more than 8 GB memory on your system. The second thing is, I encourage all of you to go to this website, opensuse.org, openZFS. It has good information and introduction about ZFS, what is ZFS and what is openZFS. Okay, and here like a line clarification that ZFS on Linux is the implementation of openZFS designed to work in a Linux environment. Okay, and some descriptions from where I took my introduction. And also here, ZFS was developed to be next generation by some microsystems. To fully understand this, that the one who created ZFS is some microsystems, but now it's acquired by Oracle. The main important thing here that I would like to highlight also, if you are going to use ZFS only on a single disk or partition on you in your openSUSE system, to benefit its snapshot and replication features, you might want to consider using btrfs instead. So it's like no mean to like why to have ZFS only on one disk. So they are referring to the people who are trying to get ZFS on a root, to use it as a root file system on their openSUSE. So here it is better to use btrfs. Okay, and they have some information about that. If you are going to use RAID-Z, make sure to read these recommendations and follow them to get the benefit of ZFS file system. The most important thing here is ZFS is currently best suited for data arrays. Using ZFS on roots in a Linux system is still experimental. Only Ubuntu recently introduced experimental root partition support in version 19.10. openSUSE doesn't yet support ZFS. So we have to keep this in mind that openSUSE doesn't yet support ZFS on root. Okay, so better you stick with btrfs for the root file system, and you can use ZFS for other file systems like network file share, or maybe your home, whatever. But root file system, make sure it is btrfs. The second web site I also encourage to visit and get the information from there. If you have any question or anything related to openZFS, you will find all the needed information there. If you want to go a little bit higher and using ZFS in enterprise environment, you can check the ZFS documentation on Solaris Oracle website regarding Solaris operating system. You will find all the information needed there. And after that, we will I will guide you guys through the steps of installing OpenZFS on your openSUSE, and the same steps we will do on my machine, openSUSE Tumbleweed, you can do the same on openSUSE Leap. So let's move on and start our journey with ZFS on our system, openSUSE Linux. So now let's start with the installation of openZFS file system on our machine. First thing, you can go to this path. If you just open zfs.org, it will open directly this wiki main page. And if you go down, how to install openZFS, you click on it and go down till you find openSUSE. You will see installation, and here a link for if you want to get a root file system ZFS installation, or to install ZFS from the repository of openSUSE. If we click here, it will take us to this page, to software openSUSE. You have here openSUSE or SUSE Linux Enterprise. If we press here on openSUSE, you will see openSUSE Leap 15.5.6 and openSUSE Slow Roll and openSUSE Tumbleweed. Now I am on openSUSE Tumbleweed. If I press on it, this is a YAST one install file. So I can right click and save the file in a path, and then double click, and YAST will do the rest by adding the repository and the things needed for the ZFS to be installed. The second way is to go to openSUSE download.opensuse.org, and you go to repositories. Make sure to choose here all entries, and you go down till you find file system, this one without the colon, and you choose Tumbleweed. Okay, now two ways. I can right click, copy link, and I go sudo -i and etc zip repo and wget, and I just download the repo here. Some other way is to do sudo and using the command zipper add repo -f for auto refresh, and I come here and I take this copy and I paste it here and the name for the repository. So these all the ways that traditionally you can install ZFS on your system. The last way that I prefer, okay, to make your life more easier, is to make sure that if in case you don't have it, and you will find the link in description. All the links here I mentioned, I will leave it in the description. And also the video about OPI, the package manager for openSUSE build service. You install this package OPI. Okay, it's already installed on. Let's check if it is installed or not. Okay, it is installed. So all you need to do is OPI and you write ZFS and press enter. So now we will choose the first one, ZFS. I will press 1 and hit enter. And now it will list for me all the repositories that the ZFS can be installed from. And we will notice that the first one here is the openSUSE file system repository, that the one we were trying to show how to add it traditionally. So here I will press 1 and hit enter. Now it is asking me to importing the signing key for this package. I will say yes. And it will do. So now it added the repository. I think the repository is already added. And now the packages that needed to be installed on my system, I just hit enter and we will wait for the installation to finish. So now the installer asking me if I want to keep the repo file system. I will say yes for the upgrade later. Once the installation finished, if you are on hurry and you want directly to use ZFS, make sure to import the kernel module directly on your running system, like that. Mode prop ZFS and be sure that you are root or use sudo and hit enter. And to make sure that it is low, we list the modules and we pipe it to grep. So now it is loaded. One last thing, if you are on a physical machine and your secure boot is enabled, you will need to sign the ZFS kernel module. You can use mock-util to enable, to enroll a key and complete the signing process. Just be careful with this to overwrite any existing keys or delete existing keys. So make sure about what you are doing. If you don't know what to do exactly, just go to your booting system software, BIOS or UEFI, according to your system, and just disable the secure boot. Instead of enabled, make it disabled. If you don't know how to do signing. Okay, so now we have ZFS installed on our system, and for in my case, I added 2 disks to show the using of ZFS on my system. So let's move forward. Let's start using ZFS and show its magic. Before that, I will turn here to be root. And as we showed before, here are the 2 disks that I'm going to use that I already added to my virtual machine to show how to use ZFS. In general, as an idea or concept, you can think of ZFS like a file system, Linux file system combined with LVM, Linux Volume Manager. Okay, because usually what we do, you bring the disk and you put it under the control of Linux Volume Manager, and after that you start creating file system on the spaces that you create or the portion of the disk that you created from the LVM. Okay, so it's almost the same. ZFS combine all of that in one command, or 1 or 2 commands, or in one software. So here the pool. Now I will put the disk under the control of the ZFS file system. To do that is the pool to create a pool of disks. Okay, of course you are able to remove a disk from a pool according to your configuration. Like if you creating a mirror, then you can remove one disk and add another. If you have a RAID, it depends on the RAID that you are using. If you created a hotspot, hot spare to replace the disk, all these kind of procedures that to be used with the managing file system and pool of disks. Okay, so the pool create SDA and ZFS is already enough, smart enough to understand which disk you don't need to write /dev/SDA. After the pool create and the name of the pool that you will be used later, and then the disks. If I add the disk here, it will add both of them in concatenation. Like it will combine both spaces, it will be 40G. Okay, if I came here and I add mirror, okay, it will create the pool and using these two disks as a mirror. I will show all of that. I'm just giving a hint ahead. So let's start with the first disk and home pool. I press enter. Now the disk is under the control of ZFS, and ZFS used the whole disk to create a pool named home pool, and from there I can create file systems on this pool, or I can continue directly using the whole space, and because the pool status or list better. Okay, this is the pool has been created. If I wanted to see the file system, here I can see that the pool, and it already has a mount point under slash home slash home pool. Okay, so I can directly use this path. Let's say you are an admin on a server and now you will create home folders for the user who accessing this server. Okay, so in order to do that, the pool is to create pools to add disks and remove disks. For the file system, ZFS command comes to play. Create, okay? Let's say you want to create a file system with 5G. On that case, you have to use the argument -o for options, and for the size quota equal 5G, I will create a file system with its size is only 5G, and then the name of the pool. And that's it. We wrote it wrong. Yeah, home pool slash the file system you want to create under that pool. Sorry for that. So here I will create home. You can consider it as creating a home folder to be used. And I press enter. If I do ZFS list, now we have a file system home, 5G space, okay? And here we have the pool. Again, you can do the same like bar to use it for whatever. Here I want it to be 6G list. The pool command list is to list the pools, the disks, the pool in general, the pools that you created on your system. Okay, and as you noticed that if you use the command df-h, it already has mount points, so nothing to be done. Once the file system created is already mounted directly. Okay, also one thing to notice, once the disk gets under the control of the z pool, if we run this command ls blk, you can see here the disk has been formatted in the structure to be used for z pool. Okay, let's say you want to destroy, to delete the z pool and everything beneath it. Let's start with the simple one, that ZFS destroy, and you can see that ZFS has already a bash completion installed with it, the name of the pool and the name of the file system. And be careful with that because it will completely delete it and everything in that path. So destroy ZFS list, and now it's gone. Let's say you backed up your data and you want to completely delete this pool from existence. You use the pool, destroy, and the name of the pool, and also it has a bash completion. If I press enter, everything will be removed and will be deleted. If I do the pool list, nothing. If I do ZFS list, nothing. Okay, so let's move on with another example. The pool create. Here I will use mirror. I will use both of disks to create a mirror. After create the name of the pool, I will stick with this name for simplicity because we are showing a case for using DFS on Linux. and after that mirror, okay, and you write the disks is the b is yeah is the a and is the b. Let's say you have other two disks to be mirrored, and then you do concatenation, you can combine with mirror and another two disks, okay, and they all will be under the control of this pool. So if I hit enter and I do the pool list, now I have a pool with total size 20 GB. But if I do the pool status, now I can see it is mirrored and contains SDA, SDB errors, no non data errors. The status is online, okay. And again, you can go ahead and start creating file system with options like kuta equal 6G home pool and home. Yeah, we put a space here. Sorry for that. So ZFS list. Okay. So, and as you can see that the total size of the pool is 20 because we did a mirror. Okay. Let's say now you want to know or to learn about the properties of the file system created. We have this command ZFS get, okay, and the name of the file system, home, the ZFS that you created. If I press enter, it will show me all the property for that file system, okay, and here some of the property, like what exactly would you like to get. So in my case, I can do get all, and now here it will show me everything about the property of this, like the quota, the mounted, okay, anything here. Of course, it's a long list, I cannot go through all of them. So according to the case in hand, you might change the parameter needed in this, and also again to change that the same way we used quota, okay. So let's say you want to change the quota for this one, okay. I will do set dash o quota, and here I will change it to 4G. In that case, okay, be careful about the data because you might lose data. But in general, the actual use case here is to increase the space. So I want to increase it by 1G. So this is how we do it. I think I wrote something wrong. Quota, yes. So let's see here. Yeah, here to update not dash o. Sorry for that. Okay, so now it will be updated if I do ZFS list. Now the size change it to 7G. Okay, so let's, for an example, you want to change the compression. So let's run this command ZFS get all for home pool home, and we check for compression. The compression is on and ratio is 1. So here is the default. So let's say you want to use the compression LZ4. So in order to do that, like to show a case how to change a property here. So can use set, okay, and the name of the property equal LZ4. So now the compression being changed to LZ4, and here it has been changed to LZ4. If you want to keep it default, you can go here and do the same, and we write on. If we checked it, okay. So let's say you want to use your home folder, the one that we created now, ZFS list. Okay, you want to use this for your actual home folder on your SUSE Linux, on your openSUSE Tumbleweed, or if it is Leap. Okay, in order to do that, very simple. You have to be root ZFS and make sure that you backed up your home folder, all the users data under that folder, to in order to copy it back to the mount point that we will be used by ZFS. Because if we open another terminal here, and we will see that home is already included with root, and here home, okay, has only one user, so I might lose login. So I will just show here. You have to be fully logged in as a root from the beginning to do, in order to do that step. You can do it from the command line. Set mount point, okay, slash home. Now you are telling ZFS that the mount point for this file system will be slash home, not slash home pool slash home. It's you changing the mount point, and then the name of the file system, like that, and you just hit enter. So let's try to use it with another example. We were saying let's create an example for that. So I will create this directory data, okay, and we can do it in one command: ZFS create dash o mount point equal slash data, and we can use quota for G, and then the name data. Okay, so what we here is to change after the creation. Okay, dash o. So we created this ZFS list. Okay, we have this. So let's ZFS set mount point equal slash data, and the name of the file system pool data. So now we can see here that the mount point is changed for that file system we created on ZFS. Okay, and of course it will survive reboot the same way like when you use LVM. It's already written on a file, and what taking care of all of that is the ZFS kernel module. Okay, so we can check status and ZFS list. Okay, we have it here as we show. So let's try to do reboot, and we see if all that will survive reboot or not. So now our system got rebooted. Let's change to root, ZFS list, and now still there and surviving reboot. To share a ZFS dataset with NFS on openSUSE Tumbleweed or openSUSE Leap, you may check my other video about NFS sharing file system on openSUSE. I will leave the link in the description below. Now I'm on openSUSE Tumbleweed, and I created a small note about it. On openSUSE, you need to run these commands. First, to install the NFS client and NFS kernel server. After that, make sure to enable the firewall for them, and to enable these two services. Okay, so again, let's create a pool, and I will name it shared NFS. Okay, and the name of the drive. So now I have a pool created, mounted. I can check it by ZFS list. Okay, and if I run ZFS list, the pool list. Okay, so I have a pool created with that disk, and I can check df-h, and it's already mounted on this path. Okay, so in order to have a shared NFS using ZFS, let's create a file system for it. Create -o quota equal I want 10G. Okay, and the name of the shared and the name of the file system I want it to be shared. And I will press enter. And after that, we need to enable set share NFS equal on. Okay. And let's say you want to share this only to your local network or to a specific network or to a specific IP. In order to do that, you do like this, and the option read write equal add and the IP of the network. Sorry. Okay, let's go here. And this is for the network. If you want to share it for the IP only, you can put your IP here, but don't forget to start it with add. This is how the share work on ZFS. Why we installed the packages? Because ZFS will use the NFS service on your operating system. And you can add more parameters like root, squash, and we hit enter. So now we have this is shared. You can check it by run show mount -e, and this command coming from installing the package nfs -client local host, and you press enter. Now you see that the file system is shared to the network, and it will be read write. After that, we need to chown -r nobody and no group for this path nfs, and we hit enter. Okay, and we make sure that the mode of this path is 755. Okay, so now we have a shared file system. Let's open another terminal, and I will log into my other machine. Okay, and let's go sudo here, and we do show mount -e and the IP of the machine, 177. Here we wrote, oh my god. Okay, so we can see that the share from the second machine, if I do mount, and now it's mounted. We entered the IP wrong, so if I do the -h, so now we have the shared is mounted on /mnt. So if I go here, let's try to create a file. So we have a shared file system using NFS right now. Let's unmount it. Okay. And again, to follow the steps that for creating a ZFS, that you need to create a pool. After creating the pool, you create the file system for sharing, and then you set the proprietary for that file system to be on, and Then you add the parameters configuration for the ZFS and make sure that the NFS service is enabled on your firewall. Okay, so this is for NFS using ZFS file system. Now let's take a look at some of the ZFS basic administration. As we said before, the pool status will show the status of the created pools on your system using ZFS file system. Let's say you want to take a backup for a file system by doing a snapshot. So creating a snapshot is a straightforward using snapshot argument for ZFS, and the name of the pool and the name of the file system, and you add the add sign, okay, and the name that will distinguish that it is a backup. You can name it whatever you want, like add one, add two. It's up to you the way that you going to create snapshots for that file system. Okay, so now this one can be backed up to whatever the backup system you have. Let's say you're done with it and you want to delete it. You can just simply use destroy, and this will destroy the backup, the snapshot that you created for that file system. Let's create it again, and let's say touch shared NFS. We have file. I will create another file. So on that path, we have two files created. So now I can do a rollback from that snapshot. So file 1 should not be exist anymore by doing rollback, and you press enter. So if we do, so now the file is gone because the file system has been rolled back to before the snapshot has been taken. When we did the pool status, we noted that this pool has only one disk. Let's say you want to add another disk to this one. By doing that, in order to do that, the pool add and the name of the pool and the name of the disk you want to add it to that pool, and you press enter. If we go and we do status and to check the size for it, okay, and you noted that the default for adding disks, it will be concatenated with the existing. So now here the size became 40 GB. If we go up, we did ZFS before. Yeah, we didn't do. Okay. So because before it was 20, now it is 40. So these are some of the basic administration for ZFS. The list is long because ZFS is full of parameters and arguments according to the situation. And I encourage all of you to check the manuals, and you can leave a comment about anything you want to learn more about. I would love to hear about it. ZFS is a game changer, offering unparalleled features and performance. Whether it's managing your /home directory, creating NFS shares, or ensuring your data's integrity, ZFS on openSUSE, Tumbleweed, or Leap makes it all possible. Have a question or questions about ZFS? Drop them in the comments below and I will cover them in a future video. Until next time, happy Linuxing. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more Linux tips and tutorials. Thanks for watching.